Hello and welcome to the ROKER RAPPORT Sunderland Player Ratings podcast, where Sunderland have just come off the back of a hard-fought 2-0 victory over Gillingham. I'm joined by Niall and Michael. How are we doing, lads?
All good.
Good, mate. Very good.
Yeah, I'm a lot better after the last 10, 15 minutes of that game. We'll crack right on into it, Niall. In the first half, Sunderland I thought we really struggled to put any passes together. Didn't play very well at all. Probably a couple of chances for Josh scoring, but bar that, it was a very poor first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty nondescript, I think is the way I'd describe it. Other than Luke O'Nine's goal, which was ruled out, which I need to see that back, to be honest with you, before I make opinions on it, because it looked a bit strange at the time. And then Josh Scowen's his first one's that's one of the misses of the season. That, I mean, you have to be putting your foot through that, not getting under it. That's got to be a goal. In the second one, he did well, in all fairness, and it was a good ball from Conor McLaughlin. And he just put a bit too much on it. But yeah, other than that, it was totally nondescript, and it's what we've seen from Sunderland all season, virtually, isn't it? Poor first half, nondescript, and then come alive in the second half. I mean, that arguably that happened today, but yeah, as I say, it was just nothing really happened.
Yeah, Michael, did you think it was a bit of a combination of both the weather and Sunderland were bad, or just anything in particular? Really, it was a very strange first half.
It's easy to blame the weather for the poor performance. I mean, we were shite. Let's be realistic. For the first half an hour, we literally couldn't string two passes together. The midfield were just non-existent. Ledbetter and Scowen. I think it was only after Scowen's chance was about the half an hour mark that we kind of started to get into it a little bit. I thought Denver Hume, especially in the first half, was getting roasted by Jordan Graham. They were getting crosses in too easily. But you mentioned the goal there. O'Nine's, it didn't look offside to me, Niall, either. Like, I actually thought it should have counted.
Yeah. I need to see it back, mate. To be honest, I need to see it back because, the replay of the show, I mean, I'd probably just slow it down. I don't know, because, yeah, it was a bit strange, but there wasn't that much protesting either, so...
No. I mean, as I said, it's easy to blame the weather for it, like, because it was for both teams, like, but... I don't know what it is with us. We seem to start so slowly in every single game in the last few weeks. I don't know if it's confidence or just, I don't know what it is. I mean, if you looked at the team before the start, I actually thought it was a decent lineup. I was actually happy to see Ledbetter back in, Scowen, but no, just brutal. Really, really, really poor first half.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and I mean, to be fair, up until the 58th minute, it wasn't getting any better, and then it threatened to get worse when Tom Flanagan, after a poor pass by himself anyway to get us into trouble, ball gets played over the top of him. He gets done by, I think it was Ogilvie for Gillingham. Concedes a penalty. I mean, no arguments there, Michael, was there?
No, it was a definite penalty. But like, he kind of just got a tip on the shoulder. It's kind of given the player the chance to go down, if you know what I mean. Like, you need to keep your hands down.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the penalty, Niall. I mean, not a great penalty, but, Lee Burge did his job, good save, and kind of turned the game into our favour a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was, I mean, it was one of them moments, wasn't it, that where, when it happens, you're sitting there thinking, oh, here we go, we've lost the game. And then within 4 minutes, like you say, that happens, the sending off happens, and everything's in our favour. So it was insane, but it was a good save. I wouldn't say it was a poor penalty as such. It was more a good save.
The height though, Niall.
But yeah,
the height of it really was was a good height for Burge to get to, I thought.
It's just one of them ones, isn't it, where if he dives, if he guesses right, he's saving it. If he guesses wrong, it looks like a good penalty. It's just one of them, generate penalties like you see all the time. But yeah, no, it was a good save, and it was, as you say, yeah, massive turning point, huge turning point.
Yep, and probably not arguably, definitely an even bigger one happened literally a minute later when Alex MacDonald, for some inexplicable reason, has decided to try and end Luke O'Nine's career with an absolutely disgraceful tackle. Niall, we'll start with you. I mean, there's just no need for it, is it? I mean, the ball was nowhere to be won. He takes out O'Nine, who's lucky enough to escape serious injury, really. I mean, it's the straightest red card you'll see all day, really, isn't it?
What's he playing at, mate? What is he playing at? It was disgusting. It was one of them ones that was always going to cause a bit of a squabble between the players, and that's what happened. There's just no reason. I mean, yes, again, you can maybe he'll probably blame the weather. He'll say, with the pitch, the flow of the pitch made him go a lot faster, whatever. But there was no need to go in like that. They had a couple. They had a one in the first half, which was a little bit on the nasty side as well. I think it was Jackson. Yeah, good try. So they were doing that the whole game. These nasty little tackles and nasty little niggles, but that was just bang out of order. And you know what it is? He's let his team down. He's let himself down. And as you two pointed out at the start of this podcast, they probably would have went on and at least getting a point out of that game if that hadn't happened. So yeah, he's getting his just deserves, and I hope he gets a fine as well on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, Michael, luckily enough, 09 was okay, got to play on, and that's obviously the only thing if that comes good of stuff like that, isn't it? Well, the player isn't badly injured.
Yeah,
it could have been a lot different.
When I saw the challenge go in, I was like, that's a leg breaker, that is a leg breaker. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was he thinking? Because he was actually nowhere near 09. Do you know what I mean? You could actually see him diving in from outside the screen into the screen on the computer to hit him. But as you said, we said earlier on, that changed the game completely. I mean, if that didn't happen, you could still see Gillingham. They were still on the front foot, but it seemed to actually G us up a little bit to get on the front foot after that and create a few more chances.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while for us to really get on top of the game. I thought it was very similar to Rochdale, actually, on Tuesday, where the last 15 minutes we decided to play a bit of football. Got a chance to Charlie White, which forced a decent save from the goalkeeper. And then in the 82nd minute, White, again, after a nice little ball from Conor McLaughlin, gets a knock, goes down. It's a penalty to Sunderland. Again, no arguments.
It was definitely a penalty. White did well to get in front of your man as well for the pass. So yeah, you can't complain really.
Yeah, summed up White's performance. Niall, didn't I? Thought White today was very good. Thought held the ball up well. Got a few free kicks, got the penalty. Fair play to him today, I thought.
Done his job again. He'd done his job. And like I say, he did his job midweek. He scored the goal. He was all right. He didn't really have many chances other than the goal. And again today, he hasn't scored, but as you say, he's got the penalty and yeah, he'd done his job. I mean, the thing is, the more he does his job, the more he's going to play. We all know he's a Parkinson player. We all know he fancies him. We all know he's his man. So, and as long as he keeps on doing his job and getting the goals, whether it be from a penalty or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's what he's there for. Yeah. So yeah,
it's finding someone to play alongside him, isn't it? That will actually score the goals. I mean, having a proper goal scorer. If you had someone who could, say we had a Madger or someone who could get you 15, 20 goals, White wouldn't look half as bad. But it's the fact that we're trying to rely on Charlie White to get the goals that he probably gets the criticism that he gets.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be fair, probably the lad who's likely to get you 15 goals is sitting on the bench and doesn't look as if he's getting much of a game. But we've spoke a lot about Will Grigg on these podcasts, and it's just not going to change, is it? While Parkinson's in charge. But anyway, going back to the game, Chris Maguire slapping the penalty away. Sunderland then looking to see the game out, and then in the 94th minute, a really, really good counter-attacking goal by Lyndon Gooch, ran all the way, Niall, and a nice little finish as well. Probably deserved that today. I thought he worked hard, didn't really get the end product, but a nice goal to finish the game off and made the result a little bit more comfortable than what it actually was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like I say, it was just the teams pushing forward to get an equaliser last minute, don't have a choice, and we've hit them on the break. But I think Evans will be standing there tonight and he'll be thinking that result flatters us, and it does. Let's be honest, it does flatter us. It wasn't a 2-0 win, and that, like I say, that last goal's just come from the fact that they were pushing to try and get the equaliser. So it's nice to have, because obviously 2-0 looks better than 1-0, of course. So it's nice to have, but yeah, I think we obviously would have won the game regardless of that. But it's nice to have, and obviously goal difference in this league can't be key quite often. So yeah, we'll certainly take it.
Yeah, it'll probably make the league table. Obviously, we've kicked off earlier, so we might be in the place, might be outside, but, we might have gained some ground. Still that game in hand, Michael, so it's, considering when we were talking on Tuesday with the Rochdale game, a little bit doom and gloom, it's kind of possibly put some gloss over the week, but we still need to improve and play better on Tuesday against a better side in Ipswich, don't we?
Yeah, that's it. We obviously have Ipswich on Tuesday, but I think it's the issue probably with most fans is, if you look at the results, we've only had one defeat. We're keeping a lot of clean sheets. It's just the performances. I mean, it's really, really sometimes hard to watch us. We're struggling to kind of keep the ball. we don't see having any like kind of strategy, or like the way we don't really kind of a way we're playing. It's hard to find. It's a lot of long balls, kind of hit and hope. The thing is, we do have better players than a lot of the teams in the league, so we are going to beat teams, but it's just, you'd like to see us play a little bit better. And as it showed when we played Portsmouth, when we come up against the better teams, we do struggle a little bit. So hopefully we can get a better performance on Tuesday, because Ipswich will definitely be tough.
Yep, certainly. So what we'll do is we'll rattle into the player ratings. Something lined up with Lee Burge, possibly a back five or a back four, but we'll say a back five of Luke O'Nien, Bailey Wright, Conor McLaughlin, Tom Flanagan and Denver Hume, Josh Scowen, Grant Ledbetter and Lyndon Gooch in the midfield, and then a forward two of Aidan O'Brien and Charlie Wyke. Now, normally the host does start with Lee Burge, and I'm going to change it up today, and I'm going to go Niall. You can start with Lee Burge. I mean, obviously the penalty save, really good, changed the game, and generally his handling was very good today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I kind of, other than the penalty, I kind of think of a standout save he had to make. But no, he did what was asked of him. Yeah, as I've said this a couple of times, but done his job. So yeah, we're kind of grumble. So I've given him a solid 7. I think the penalty save's enough for him to get a 7. Yeah, enough to take him over the mediocre 6 anyway, definitely.
Solid 7s then. Solid 7s all around. I've gone an 8 just because it's changed the game. The game was, I think, drifting away from Sunderland. That penalty save plus the red card. I think the red card's probably a bit more of a game changer than the penalty save, but I've just given him an 8 just because, he saved it really. Michael, you can have Luke O'Nien.
Yeah, I thought O'Nien was solid today. He was getting a little bit of joy down that wing. Himself and McLaughlin got a good few crosses in. Obviously, he had a goal disallowed as well, which, as we said, need to see back. I thought it looked all right. Very, very lucky not to have his leg broken. Solid, if not unspectacular. Like, he didn't really do anything great, but he didn't do anything wrong. I gave O'Nien a 6, solid 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well. I'll do Bailey Wright. I've given Bailey Wright a 6. I thought today, as much as he defended relatively well, did everything, they didn't pose that much of a threat, but thought he got caught out a couple of times with Gillingham's direct play, but listen, it's another clean sheet for him. So I have give him a 6. We'll go to Conor McLaughlin. Niall, you can have him.
I give McLaughlin a 5. I thought he was all right. Like I say, he played a very good ball in for Scowen's chance, and he was, for the job he's been asked to do, he was all right. He's never gonna set the world alight or anything like that, but he did enough today for me to be solid. He didn't get caught. I can't really remember him being caught. So yeah, just a solid, mediocre, done his job 5 for me.
Yeah, I've gone a little bit better. I've gone a 6 just for I thought he did very well for the penalty, so I've given him a little bit extra for that. But 5, 6 I think is fair. All right, then Michael, Mr. Tom Flanagan.
Brilliant.
Not his greatest game today, was it?
No, he was poor. He was poor. His distribution, I thought, coming out of the back was really bad. He gave away a good few passes into the midfield, lost the possession a lot. Obviously gave away the penalty as well. He just looked shaky from the start. I don't know what it was. He just didn't seem confident today at all. And unfortunately, I think you have to give Flanagan, I have 5 down, but now talking, I think nearly a 4. But no, I'll stick with a 5.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. For 5, 4. Yeah, I know that our man Jimmy Lawson's gave him a 2, so that's bound to cause some backlash today. I'll go for Denver Hume. Again, a 6. I thought defensively he was all right. Little bit, I think he gets caught out a little bit, especially when they're attacking on his side, but it's not always his fault. I don't think he gets any help. But for me, Denver Hume, what's gone back over with him is his final ball. I think his final ball's gone really, really bad.
Shocking. And
he was just starting to improve that, and he needs to improve that again. So I've just gone with a 6 again, because again, he was part of a defence that kept a clean sheet, but I can't mark him any higher or any lower than that, because what his attacking play is not as good, but his defensive is getting better. So we'll go on to, I think this will probably differ, I would say. Josh Scowen, Niall. I think a lot of people say he's done well, but then he's missed 3 or 4 good chances for us.
Yeah, I think he got into good areas, which is a positive thing. Obviously, with not having Maguire playing today, we didn't really have a midfielder a central midfielder who's willing to get forward, and he got in the area as well. And like I say, on another day, could have had a hat trick. So I've gone for a 6 because, like I say, I think you need to take, especially the second one, you need to take them chances. But he wasn't bad. He did do a lot of work going back as well. He's certainly not a lazy player, is he? So yeah,
full of energy.
I thought. Yeah, full of energy. So yeah, I thought solid 6 again. I'm going to sound a bit boring on this point, to be honest, but yeah, I think one of them goes in. He gets a 7 comfortably, but just because the second one he needs to be doing better with that. He's got a 6.
Yeah, I mean, at least he is, like you said. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. He's probably the only centre midfielder what you've got that will get in them positions. So in a few weeks' time, if he keeps getting in them, they will go in. Today is a bad shooting day at the office for him, but yeah, as long as he keeps on getting them positions, then he probably will get a few goals. Right, Grant Ledbetter, Michael, again, probably solid yet unspectacular again, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good to see him back in the team. I thought it was kind of harsh that he was dropped for Rochdale. I don't know if it was dropped or arrested, whatever, but you definitely missed him the other night. You could see that we needed someone who could get on the ball a little bit more. He started slowly, I thought. It took him a while to get into the game, but he had that composure at times, and we needed just to get the ball down and string a few passes together, and Ledbetter seemed to be main man doing it. So I've given Ledbetter a 6 today, as you said, solid but unspectacular, but another solid performance.
Yeah, we're setting a trend here. I think we're 6s all the way through. I'm gonna improve on a 6. I'm gonna go a 7 for Lyndon Gooch. I thought first half he was very poor, but in the second half I thought he got into better positions, thought he improved as the second half wore on. Obviously, as Gillingham tired, I think he came into the game more and took his goal very well. I know he's not had to do that much, but to run probably 70, 80 yards with the ball, to finish as well as he did in the last minute of the game, it does take a lot of energy to do that. So I've given him a 7. Like I say, another good goal from him. And right then, Niall, you have Aidan O'Brien, who is big chance probably today, and he didn't take it, did he?
Yeah, to be honest, I think this is the lowest I think I'll ever go on one of these pods. But I've actually gone for a 4. I thought
you're Mr. Optimism as well, aren't you?
I thought he was awful. I thought he was awful all game. And to be honest, I've not really seen much of him to impress us the whole time he's played for Sunderland. I mean, I was told we're getting this striker who, needs to play up front because that's his best position, and he's sharp and he gets on the end of things. This is what I was reading from the Millwall fans. I haven't seen any of this. I see a striker who's lethargic, who's quite lazy. Is that harsh to say? He seemed lazy at times. He doesn't do much tracking back, and when he does get the chances, like he had a golden one at Oxford, which was a sitter. He's had one today, which he should have done much better with at the near post, and yeah, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough, and to be honest, it's a waste of a spot, a waste of a place in the team at the minute. Putting him in, he's not good. He might come good, and I hope he does come good, but at the minute, I cannot see enough ability in there to warrant him having a starting place at all. He's just not done anything, and today just proved that as well, what I was already thinking about him. So yeah, 4.
Yep, so Michael will move on to Charlie Wyke. I think Connor said everything that needs...
Connor?
Oh, sorry, Niall.
Oh, tight rope there, mate.
We'll try that again. Yeah, we'll move on to Charlie Wyke. I think Niall said everything that needs to be said about him, really, and I don't want to speak evil. So we'll move on to Charlie Wyke. Michael, again, like we just discussed, I thought he had not an excellent game, but a very good game, and is doing a lot better and won the penalty.
Yeah, brought other people into play. It's not, you can't really, as a target man, he does what it says in the tin, like he actually does his job, so you can't really complain. Obviously you'd like him to get into maybe better positions for chances, but as the target man, which he's supposed to be, he did his job. Yeah, so I gave Wyke a 6. It was like a solid 6.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. 6, 7. Yeah, I think that's really good. I'll quickly rattle on the subs. Danny Graham thought came on, put himself about, nothing spectacular. I've given him a 6. And Chris Maguire came on, scored a penalty, 6.
Yeah,
I we can't add much more to that, can we? But yeah, we've pretty much everybody a 6 bar a couple. We'll do a man of the match each. Michael, we'll start with you. Who do you think was man of the match?
I think Lee Burridge is man of the match today, definitely. The whole game changed on that penalty save. So I think if that goal goes in, obviously I don't think we're going to win the game. It was a massive moment in the match, so I think it's fairly clear to say that Lee Burridge was the man of the match today. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Niall?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Michael. I think you're totally right. It's what won us the game effectively, other than the sending off. So, yeah, definitely. I agree with Michael. I'm certainly not going to give it to Aidan O'Brien anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to sound boring, but yeah, I've got Lee Burge as well. Just think that, like I say, the penalty save has swung the game in our favour. If that goes in, we lose the game. Credible mention to Alex MacDonald from Gillingham for being an absolute idiot and costing his team, definitely at least a point, possibly all three. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably leave it there, lads. Just very quickly for me, and we've had some very sad news as a Sunderland family this week. Ted Hodgkiss, who, if you go on the ready to go message boards, was known as the moderator, the voice of reason. Now, I've known Ted personally for a few years, and he's such a lovely, lovely bloke, and massive Sunderland fan, massive cricketing fan. Little Town Cricket Club will be such a loss without you, mate. And I'd like to dedicate this win to you today. I'd like to sign off with that, and just go well, mate. Absolute legend, and that's all I've got to say. Really, it just says it all.